Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the LPL here on Twitch TV, live and in English, of course, brought to you by our friends at Esports Heaven and Games in Asia. My name is Rapid, and with me is Nero. Some stats coming your way on the screen. Young Glory versus LGD. Of course, LGD with a little bit of a rough start to the game, but man, did they ever finish it up. And of course, the MVP for LGD is Wayless, a monstrous 377 CS there, 503 gold per minute. That guy was making bank.
Alright, so after LGD grabbing a win, they can now stay in the contention of the playoffs. But right now it's Young Glory's turn. They need to win one game at least to keep themselves in the LPL to try and not get relegated. So this is still gonna be a very, very, very interesting matchup, even after the LGD's 1-0 win. Right now, there still are the three casters' predictions for a 1-1 tie, so we'll get to see if they're right or wrong.
Well, there's also another big consequence of LGD winning that game, and that is that World Elite Academy can no longer avoid relegation. They are out, and they will be kind of resigning themselves to practicing, maybe not practicing, because I know they've been maybe having some struggles, not necessarily putting in a whole lot of work lately, and it kind of shows. So We are out, and that means that their series coming up tonight may be a little bit less exciting now that they are having some struggles. So game number 2 is coming up, and while the casters predicted a 1-1 unanimously, they put a lot of belief in Young Glory. I may feel a little bit more skeptical, but maybe all Young Glory needs to do is return to their roots and try to keep their mid lane strong. Game number 1 felt like Dian Gun really had to do most of the work for himself, while Yin Fu is really focusing on getting bottom lane ahead, but that didn't really work out.
Yeah, I think that Zhenlong has to switch his picks by a little bit at least, because this Corki doesn't really work too well for him. And as I said, he plays Kog'Maw a lot lately. He's just been playing Kog'Maw alone. And then there's this strong Lucian, so maybe he will go for Lucian or Kog'Maw. These are the go-to picks, because before Kog'Maw, actually, he just played Lucian. So these two champions are for the taking, but I don't really believe in his Corki. The other thing, of course, as you said, Dian Gun, he needs to get a lot of help from Yin Fu to try and carry the game from the middle lane, especially as your top laner falls so far behind. It's unacceptable to not really help Dian Gun.
So coming in here to game number 2, like you said, Dian Gun has been the key to so many Young Glory victories. And honestly, there haven't been that many of those Young Glory victories. But when they have come pretty spectacularly, and versus some of the best teams in LPL. I feel like last week for Young Glory, if they could have just captured that week and held on to it like really, really closely, and like made that their entire LPL performance, then sure, they win, they're the best. Unfortunately, that was a flash of light in an otherwise dark performance this season. We'll have to see if they can turn the lights back on next game, as LGD still looking like they have it. And LGD, like, you actually saw them lose a dragon fight to Young Glory horribly. Like, they got destroyed in the dragon fight when they tried to group up 5v5. And then they're just like, all right, let's go back to passive farming. If we can't fight them, if we can't beat them, we'll just hang back. We'll farm things up. We'll get 377 CS in 25 minutes. It was like in 30 minutes, I guess. But it was still ridiculous scaling from LGD. Game 3 coming up, or game number 2 coming up. I'm not sure we can expect anything different.
I don't know, we'll see if PYL gets his Thresh banned once again. If there's gonna be the Yasuo ban, because is LGD still afraid of Dian Gun now that they crushed him so much with that Orianna? I don't know, maybe he'll get this Yasuo, and maybe that will be a mistake. We'll get to see in the picks and bans stage. But actually coming back to World Elite Academy, that got knocked out from the LPL right now. They will get knocked down to the relegations, as you said. Well, they are facing OMG in the second best of 2 for today. So that must be a little bit fearsome, going against a team that was so many times in the first place in a row. But right now that they are out of the LPL, they will not be afraid of OMG, so we might see a brilliant performance from both our teams, actually. Because they will go for some crazy things, World League Academy, and then maybe win the game.
You know, I am all for end of the season crazy things happening. We saw a pretty cool game from Alliance in the EU LCS that just goes to show another crazy game from Fnatic too. Goes to show what happens when nothing's on the line. You can sit back, relax, and have a little bit of extra fun. Might be what we see here coming up tonight. Can see a lot of concerned looks on the Young Glory players' faces. Because for them, if they lose this game, they're just gone. They're done too. If Young Glory lose both of these games, we're going to be seeing a lot less of the bottom two from the LPL.
Alright, so the picks and bans are on, and there is the Yasuo ban as the first one.
And all of a sudden, Young Glory like get the sad looks on their faces. There's like, no, our one chance of winning. But they have a few more out there.
Now we'll get to see. They do need to win this one game. That's what keeps them alive or makes them dead.
It's true. It's kind of their breath. Can they take down one game? And honestly, if you can't win a game versus LGD at this point in the season, you probably don't deserve to avoid relegation either.
Wow, just look at LGD banning out everything against Yangon.
Screw you, Yangon. They're just saying, look, there's one way Young Glory wins, and it's off their mid lane, and he's having none of it. But that does leave a couple of options open. You can go for Ziggs. You can also go for something like an Ahri or another more assassin-based champion, if that is what you want. Yangon, like we said, favors the melee AD carries. So, all three of those banned out. Don't leave them with too many options. Man, I want the Talon.
Yeah, exactly. I was about to say it. I want the Talon right here.
I mean, let's think melee AD carries. What else are there? There's like Pantheon. Maybe bring that guy out.
Like Wukong in the middle lane that we have once seen in the past.
And don't want to see that ever again. So we're going to probably see an AP, which we've noted is not necessarily Yangon's strongest champion pool, but is something that can do very well at like delaying the game, especially if it's like a Ziggs. Even Ahri can just go for a ton of farming.
XQ will pick up this Lucian, so you are quite happy, but I am not. Because now Genlong hits just this Kog'Maw, and if he goes for this Corki once again, this is not gonna pan out too well.
Exactly, and we still have yet to see those picks quite on the screen just yet. And so two things. XQ was known as like the Lucian guy. Maybe because he couldn't really play in much of the other champions at quite the same level, but more just because he was so good at Lucian. And this is the wait a second.
Oh wow.
What did I just see locked in there? Nero.
It is a Vayne, but on Genlong, I am not too sure. He is known for being like one of the worst AD carries in the LPL at the moment, and his positioning is not too good, to take it lightly, kind of. And on Vayne,
every 2 seconds, you have the ability to tumble into the enemy team. That's not an ability I would like to give Genlong.
Definitely, well, positioning is a very, very, very important thing on Vayne, and I don't know if it will work out. So now, Yancer, will he bring this LeBlanc onto Wayless, who has been playing a lot of LeBlanc in the middle lane for LGD.
Now, keep in mind, this is patch 4.12 LeBlanc, and this is the worst iteration of LeBlanc that has ever been seen in League of Legends. She is one of the lowest 4 champions. Lowest win ratio. Like, how you pick that in a competitive top-tier LPL game, I don't know. Her Q doesn't silence anymore. It's not. There's sigil of nothing, sigil of malice, but it's not too malicing when you look at her win rate. And it's versus Wayless's Ahri, so he showed that he could farm in the last game. We'll see if he can farm champions here in game number 2.
Alright, so here's the deal. Young Glory, this is their last chance to stay in the LPL. If they win this one game, they have to go 2-0 against OMG to stay in the LPL, to not go to the relegations. And they go for such a pick and ban phase. There's something wrong with them, or they are like completely crazy. They are sure, 100% sure that they can win with these picks, or they just gave up already. But getting a 2-0 against OMG, after getting a 2-0 against World Elite and Edward Gaming, shouldn't be too hard for them. Then why just give up on this game?
Well, it's not just on Young Glory. Even if they win this game, then they still have to rely on LGD losing most of their games for the rest of the week. I think they can only get like one more point after this. So, oh, and that's only if they 2-0. So yeah, this is it's gonna be a struggle for Young Glory. Young LGD looking to dash their hopes and dreams of staying in the LPL.
Well, and as LeBlanc is still kind of okay to me because there is a Seconde on Yenfu. I mean, Yenfu on Seconde, rather. So he will most probably camp this middle lane once again, as it was when he first picked the Seconde. And it worked out so well for Young Glory, but Vayne, Zhenlong, he needs a lot of help from Yancer to be successful.
Alright, well, we're going to take a quick 2-second break, come back for game number 2 of LGD versus Young Glory. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. If you're just now joining us, then welcome to LGD versus Young Glory. Game number 2, second set of the series with LGD. Of course, leading 1-0. Wayless is kind of playing around with number 1. I don't think he really respects this invade. Young Glory dropping some deep wards. Seeing if they're going to stay down there and wait for the red buff.
And, well, the rest of LGD is already rotating. I thought that this is gonna be a level 1 big fight, but Young Glory is just falling back, and LGD, they actually plan to steal the blue buff away from YG, so unfortunately no level 1 fights. If it is going to be a crazy game, then why not go for the crazy game from the very first minute?
Well, a couple of big things to watch out for as far as Young Glory, or as far as the LGD are concerned. Their bottom half of the map is just lit up. It's like, you know, they went from no electricity to electricity, and all of a sudden the street lights just turned on. There's 4 wards in the bottom half of the jungle. LGD, they're sweeping it. They're making sure that Young Glory have nothing to do down there. But after they've gone ahead and swept everything out there, they still don't know where Young Glory are. And this could be so bad. Young Glory masterfully baiting this one. There's the stun. Is it going to land on everyone? Catches PYL. He's going to get the pulverize. And he's going to get out. So only one flash blown from Twen, who was able to escape safe and sound.
So unfortunate. Number 1 could have got like a 3-man stun right there if he just flashed in, but he didn't.
We'll see if this works out. It's a nice way to start the game out because you can almost guarantee yourself 2 buffs or 3 buffs if you play it right. But Twen should just be able to walk over to the enemy red buff. You can see that it has been previously warded out. LGD putting some contingency plans in place.
Yeah, well, I hoped for a level 1 fight, and it kind of happened, but there's no first blood, it's just the buff steal. Still okay for Young Glory. They do get the early kind of advantage, because it's not much in gold, but it gives them the pressure in the jungle. So maybe Yenfu, this time around, he'll be able to put the pressure in the middle lane and get Yangon farmed and fed. But, well, on this LeBlanc, as you said, the Sigil of Malice still not doing too much, or rather as much as they would want it to be.
And you can see, even though Yangon is able to trade out some damage, he's unable to avoid the charm, so Wayless just trades it right back. It's not a very good situation to be in for Yangon there in the mid lane, and we still need to see the camp. Oh, the flash pulverized there. There's the headbutt, serving up Vayne for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Nice dash back away from the turret. Summoner heals out. Flash over the wall leaves Yancer in a horrible position. There's the dash back in. Flash out. All summoners gone from the Young Glory bottom lane.
A little bit of a miscommunication, I guess, because...
Oh, Chuan! He dies to the white camp! He was aggroed, and then Dian flashed over the wall there, or didn't flash, he just distortioned over, dished out the damage, and then white, with the one last auto attack, takes him out.
And he loses the buffs right there, so that is a very successful invade from Young Glory at the very first minutes, because they take away all the buffs from Chuan.
Oh, Dian could be in a little bit of trouble here. Charm comes out and it does land. How does he hit it? Ignites down as well. Hits the wrong one. Guesses it. And Dian will survive.
This game is looking so well already. With Chuan going down to the white. With so much aggression in the bottom lane. Well, this is gonna be good.
Some people get ganked by mom, other people get wrecked by white. That's I guess in that situation you could say that maybe SKT know a little bit about getting wrecked by white too. But either way, if you look down to the bottom lane, I still have yet to be impressed by Jianlong and his Vayne. And even though apparently it is one of his better champions, we haven't really gotten a chance to see him play it hardly at all. So still yet to prove himself with that down in versus XQ. And we already know XQ is ridiculously good at Lucian, and Lucian just as a champion in this patch 4.12 is a ridiculously good champion too. So I'm not sure how you pick a Vayne into a Lucian. Like, that 2v2 matchup is just horrible. So we'll see. XQ, no support there. Gets condemned into the wall.
But, oh yes, there's a little bit of damage to him. But yeah, actually I wanted to say that Jianlong, if he just manages to not fail, there is a Jax in the top lane and there is a Seconde in the game. So the late game is incredibly good.
Headbutt, pulverized, dash to the side. XQ's going into the bottom lane off of PYL's initiation. Trying to bring it back here. Light Slinger comes out. Slinging those auto attacks there as well. XQ putting back on the pressure.
The pressure is there, but still the Condemn saves them so much this time around. They don't have any flashes available since they used it just before. So Young Glory, they have to be extremely careful right here, because the only thing that they want to get in this lane is not to fail. They just need to carry it on to the late game, as I said, to have this Jax by their sides, and then with this Seconde initiation, maybe win the fights in game.
A little bit of a dash in. Oh my. Oh, Dian missing everything. Lands the mimicked chain. He actually might die to no ignite. Okay, no ignite. He's safe. But how safe is... Oh, R's going to turn on the ultimate. No questions asked. Almost dies there. Actually, no, the minion's going to take him down. Wayless dies to minions off of an overextension through the mid lane.
So LGD, well, minions 2, LGD nothing.
Bottom lane though, gotta watch out for XQ as he is gonna go in here. A little bit of desync, but XQ and PYL still winning out that bottom lane.
Also, this headbutt could actually be really dangerous for XQ, because the passive popping on him would be a little bit of damage. But yeah, this bro almost only thinking about running away.
One good thing for Young Glory is that Alistar naturally pushes the wave, both by healing allied minions as well as his trample damage, dealing some incidental damage to enemy creeps. So now it's going to be up to them, see if they want to go for the dive. PYL is going to be the one to start the fight, but it's only a level 5 Vayne, no ultimate yet available.
Yeah, and on the other hand, they don't have the ultimate as well, so... Yeah, level 5 versus level 5, I don't think that you want to...
Twen got spotted out rather by a ward, and the exclamation mark goes down, immediate distortion backwards. The Scarter's in the bottom lane looking for it. Top lane though, it's 17, dunking down on number 1. Bottom lane XQ's gonna try to get some action done himself, goes down. The 2-man pulverized from PYL. It's not gonna be enough, man, and the bolts continue, silver or otherwise, and PYL's gonna go down. Yin Fu in the jungle, coming down, making some big plays. Young Glory back on the map.
Notice once again Yin Fu on the bottom lane and not on the middle lane. Will it work out? But Willis, 1 for 1 in the middle.
Lands again. Dian just not catching a break.
he can dodge everything else but not the charm, and that is this problem because, well, charm is pretty much all that this Ari wants to land. And in the top lane, once again, 17 just too strong from number 1, even when he plays a Jax, even when he just wants to survive until the late game. 30 creeps difference right there, and 1 kill already. Will it once again be like the Maokai in the previous game? Let's hope not.
Let's hope not. The other thing that we need to watch out for is the CS. Mid lane, it is 66 to 62. Like, these guys are not, like, power farming. They are going all in on the aggression. And honestly, it hasn't really worked out very well for either one of them. But especially not Diangun. And the problem for Young Glory is that they can't afford to have somebody just do okay in lane. Like, they're a very early game lane phase based team. And especially if Diangun doesn't get ahead, they don't have anywhere to go when it comes down to the mid lane.
Alright, so this Vayne actually not only just not failed, it also got a kill in the bottom. It's a nice thing for Young Glory, but it was the same in the previous game. They got a little bit of an advantage with the first blood, with the second kill, and then got completely destroyed by LGD on Baron. And that is the big thing.
Down in the bottom lane used just a little bit. But yeah, like you said, grouping up for Young... Oh, the charm, the chains, the CHs on both sides hitting. No damage to come out from that. Immediate ultimate coming out from Vayne. Knows the turret's about to go down. Teleport's coming down to the bottom lane as well. And this could be a rough spot for PYL. Twenna's there as well. Fissure's going to come out. And, oh, Jax is not looking too healthy. PYL's going to get slammed into the wall. And Vayne there to tell him who his daddy is. And Yansur very low. But we'll see if Twenna is... got the damage to follow this up, tumble back, invisibility just doesn't last long enough, and Twenna's gonna be able to chase. No turret, they just run through, running down, and there is one last auto attack. Where is it at? We've got Young Glory coming back in, and no survival for Zhenlong, making it out alive. How he escaped that is beyond me, but nice presence, nice hustle from Yinfu.
That was beautiful from Zhenlong, but still, they didn't get the most of it all. They wanted to stay alive, but the answer did go down in the end. Still, a nice initiation in the bottom lane. Even though they lost a third, they got a little bit of kills, so this Vayne still is alive in the bot and can be counting on the late game later on.
XQ is pretty dead. He can cleanse slows with his relentless pursuit, but it's just not relentless enough. He got caught out 1v2, unable to escape. Now Dragon is up here and off the pick on the AD carry. Young Glory could start that objective, but they would lose mid turret to Wayless if they attempted Dragon.
And it's such a big combo, right, actually, where Seconde can stun with his own stacks and then Braum with his own stacks. That is kind of scary, but yeah, the Dragon for Young Glory most probably, but they are not going for it as of yet, and the turrets are falling in favor of LGD.
We're gonna see this 1v1, and the Skarner coming in from behind the turret. Pretty impressive play there by Yinfu. Once again, exactly where he needed to be. Like Hot Wayless getting greedy. 1 and 2. Nero, you might need to help me out a little bit here. The Dragon's going down here to LGD. They'll pick that up uncontested, but Young Glory have placed their hopes in a Magi Soul Stealer on Diangun.
It's a LeBlanc, okay. So Wayless was usually buying it when he was playing LeBlanc, and when you are facing Wayless, just go for his own strategy. Maybe it's the good one, okay, maybe not, but still, Young Glory, they do have the kills advantage, and if it's a 1-for-1, then in the end, Diangun will always get this one stack, but I don't think that it's what he wants. Anyway, coming back to the replay, when there was this 1v1 in the middle lane, where Wayless just died and Diangun barely survived. I don't know if you have seen, but the Skarner's ultimate just run out, and a split second, Wayless tried to jump onto Diangun. So a split second more, and Diangun would have been dead, because this Ari already moved, but the damage didn't come out.
Exactly. Pretty incredible to watch that 1v1 come out. Now, Chuen in the bottom lane is looking to get on to anyone he can find out here. Jumps Yancer, bursts this down, so is the Glacial Fissure, and you can look at Vayne coming in from behind, gets a nice condemn, but is way out of position here, needs the tumble to stay invisible and stay alive. I'm not sure he has anywhere to go. Zhenlong goes down, and oh man, now it is poor Yinfu. Can he make it out of here alive? Looks like the answer is yes, but not quite so lucky for the Young Glory duo lane.
Yeah, so unfortunate for Young Glory right there. If Yancer just stayed alive for a while more, that would have been a huge kill for Zhenlong. A free kill on an 80 carry that could have stopped the push and stopped the killing, and now LGD will just get whatever they want.
Whatever they want includes a blue buff. They'll take down, most likely give over to XQ. I didn't see exactly who took that blue buff, but a double distortion on in there. Where's the damage? Ignite, taken down. 2 stacks going the way of Diangun.
And he gets a double buff too. So even though they stole his blue buff, he does get it anyway.
Yeah, so here's the replay of that 1v1 in the mid lane. And you can see Skarner coming up big, but not big enough to keep Diangun alive. So he did pick up some stacks there, but now, oh, Yancer, where does he have to go? Does make it out of there safely, and first turret kill of the game for Young Glory. Feeling good. And then they realize they're down 4-1 in turrets and may feel a little bit worse.
But they don't really see the gold difference at the moment, and the kills are quite even, and the lane that is not doing too bad. So Young Glory can still try to win this game. But it's gonna be quite hard. And Wayless, he's finally starting to get a little bit ahead of Diangun in CS. And he also won this 1v1, but later died to Ascana.
Now, Wayless built a first item Banshee's Veil, or not Banshee's Veil, but Abyssal Scepter. I don't see that game coming out, or that coming out of very many teams out here. XQ throws down the culling, but condemned into the wall. Nowhere to go. No ultimate even necessary there for Yinfu. He actually, he doesn't drop turret aggro, so he's actually pretty low, but nobody coming to punish the Young Glory bottom lane.
Yeah, but the dragon is still not there, so Young Glory will not be able to secure this one. At least they will get the turret, I guess. It's still okay, but 17 in the top. Just look at that. 3 levels difference, and this Jax is completely useless at the moment.
Yeah, we might even see a dive just off the disrespect, because like you said, Jax is not going to do anything. He's 0-2 versus a 1-0. He's building damage, whereas LGD are building tankiness, and I guess he is building a little bit of tankiness too, but he'll never have a Trinity Force in the next, 10 minutes or so, which is 10 minutes that he needs to have it already done, so. Big struggle for Young Glory. Their lane's just getting smashed. They do have a 4-0 jungle Skarner, for whatever that's worth, and we'll see if they can catch in onto PYL. Glacial Fissure lands, and the tether onto PYL, and Pale's not good enough. I mean, you lock down the cow, but you got the rest of LGD for damage. They're coming in from behind. It is going to be a kill there from Yinfu. He'll grab his 5th kill of the game. Can he make it out alive? Answer is no. LG Jizzle my nizzles coming in from behind, catching out not 1, not 2, 3, 4, 5. Where is it coming? No, just the 4 kills coming out. LGD smashing Young Glory.
And this Gragas once again just being so strong, getting 2 kills in this fight easily without any problems. And yeah, Young Glory, it's like the 3rd time in a row that they focus on an Alistar. This is never gonna work out against a 70% damage reduction. Wow, you're just waiting so much.
Now we gotta check out this 1v1 in the mid lane though, as Wayless is gonna look for the kill onto onto Diangun. Grabs it out, takes the stacks with him. Now only 1 solitary Medjai's Soul Stealer stack on Diangun. He's looking pretty sad. 2 pink wards cleared out, 2 for 1. 2 pink wards, 1 bush, both cleared out by Young Glory. So they get some value back. And the vision control.
Yeah, almost like this 4 kills that LGD got. Almost.
Almost. There's still somewhat of a gold disadvantage, but we're to see stealth it in. Swan jumping all the way in onto Yancer. Gets the taunt down. He's got the unbreakable, but Something tells me he is pretty breakable at this point in the game. Condemn will keep Vayne safe. Interesting that we have both Condemn and Impale on the same team. Flash in for Wayless, misses everything, and he's gonna get grabbed in there, taking up the turret. He goes down. Vayne with the DPS in the back line, but starting to DPS on 17. Never gonna be able to kill off that guy. Vayne's still very, very low. Zhenlong still has to dish out the damage, but he doesn't have the range to stay safe enough in those fights.
And once again, the damage goes down onto an Alistar. And it's not gonna work out for Young Glory, and there we go, there might be a dive from LGD.
The re-engage. Is this Young Glory's turnaround? They have the Glacial Fissure. XQ's gonna go down. 1, 2, there's 4 dead right now for LGD, and Young Glory got Baron on their minds.
Yeah, and 2 kills for a Vayne at least in this fight. If they get this Baron, this is a nice comeback, but they have to be careful to not throw again, because in the previous game they just lost because of a Baron.
Oh my god. 17 acting 7 there in that fight. Goes in, goes down. Pretty bad misplay right there. Can Wayless stop this Baron though?
He went for the same thing in the previous game and got a double kill this way, but well, this time around it doesn't work out. But Wayless, yeah, he might get caught, or he might just steal the Baron.
Okay, well, Wayless does get caught. Picks off Vayne, but look at these health bars. Oh my gosh, Young Glory, they're all gonna die to Baron. No, it's PYL. He's gonna dash in. PYL with 1 kill. The Baron buff does go to Young Glory, but look at the follow-up from XQ. 1, 2, 3 dead now for Young Glory. The hop over the wall, but can number 1 escape? PYL, the death cow, and the teleport from behind from 17. He got revenge. He's thinking about it. Able to take down 4 members, I guess, if you want to count the first kill. LGD coming back.
Well, but Young Glory did come back too. Somehow they got the Baron, so they got a little bit of gold, they got a little bit of an advantage. But right now, I don't see them defending the turrets. I don't see them going up against LGD, and they will try.
You will try, but will they be successful? Flash out from XQ, got real scared of Seconde, but he dragged 17 in. 17, he's staying alive, and actually inevitably goes down. Seconde is dealing way too much damage. He's single-handedly carrying Young Glory. Trying to take out XQ, will dash his way away, but oh, Chuan, can he stay alive? The answer is unfortunately no. Yin Fu. Holy cow, that Seconde carry power. It's in there. It's looking good.
And that's a triple for the Vayne. 7-2 right now. That might be
Can Young Glory win this game? It's 18-19. They're not that far behind in gold.
No, they are not that far, but I just wanted to say that they want to fight, and they once again went for a Baron, and that's where they threw the previous game, and they got killed once again, so I thought that this is once again the throw that is going to make them lose the game, but now they come back in such a big fight. Seconde and Vayne, that's what I said, they are getting close to this late game at like 20 minutes mark. It's not really realistic, but they're getting close to this late game where Vayne, Seconde, Jax combo is just gonna annihilate the lineup of LGD. And if a nice target gets caught with an Impale or a Condemn, this is gonna be a very good thing for Young Glory, and they might win the game, but it's really risky to say that as of yet, because there's still 6-1 in turrets, and LGD just have the confidence, and they are the better ones right here. That's undeniable. They won the first matchup.
You can look at PYL. He is just like a gog this entire game. He just like sits there with his like, and especially in that last fight, you could see as soon as he died after going, or as soon as he like saw the opportunity to go into Baron Pit and pick up 1,000,000 kills, he just got this like super happy look on his face, like I could kill the entire team. And as a support, that's probably not a feeling you have too many times. He got in there, got super happy, hyped. Didn't get the Baron, did pick up kills, and the rest of his team capitalized on it, but now they have the even more difficult task of pushing into the enemy base, something that Young Glory, I'm not going to let him do without a fight. As we just saw.
Young Glory, they got one turret in the bottom lane, so they might be slowly coming back in the goal. But actually, as you said, the goal lead isn't too big, and that's just the turrets. If Young Glory get the 4 turrets that they are behind, they're going to be even in gold.
Young Glory, no strangers to comebacks, keep in mind. But of course, LGD gotta add a few comebacks in their pockets, most notably versus Invictus Gaming, I believe it was.
Oh, that was not
ago.
a comeback.
Hey, you're behind and then you win the game. Like, you gotta come back. Dragon on XQ gets exploded! And now, LGD may be in a little bit of trouble. Schwen there is gonna go down, and the follow-up. Look at Vayne all the way from the back. You got a nice stun there from number 1 onto PYL. Does negative damage. So PYL will be more than safe and sound in the 1v2, but it's a 1v5 and 4-for-0 exchange. Young Glory. Too young, too glorious to go out without a fight here, and only Wayless left alive.
The key word right now for Young Glory is Vayne. Wow, and Zhenlong, he got so much bad reputation for being such a weak AD carry in the LPL, but right now on this Vayne, he's unstoppable. Right now sitting on 9-2, having an Infinity Edge and the Blade of the Ruined King, and killing everyone as quickly and as much as he wants. Whoever comes in his way is completely dead.
Okay, well, Yinfu tries really hard to feed. Look at that crit!
Oh, no.
Holy hell, XQ just lost half his health.
And
Man.
Yinfu stayed alive. I have no idea how that happened, but Zhenlong being the savior of the universe for Young Glory right now.
Savior of the universe. Able
Yep.
to at least try to keep his team in this, but I mean, the question is, how many times can you realistically expect LGD to throw while they try to push into your base? It's been yes, and now third time's the charm. See if LGD can finally find their way, crack this somewhat impervious defense.
Oh, wow, and most probably Baron is once again gonna be the turning point in this game. It comes back to life in about 1 minute, and both Young Glory and LGD will definitely want to pick this one up.
No base turret in the top lane for Young Glory, so they will have to be a little bit respectful of that. If LGD win a fight at Baron, the game just ends because they can just push straight down the top lane and take it down. But still some time left to go. You know, it's only 26 minutes into the game, but it feels like 45 because we've had, what is that, 41 kills already in just 26
Yes.
minutes. These guys love fighting. That actually works out maybe better for Diangun because he actually is starting to get some Edge Eye stacks out there. Can't tell exactly how many just yet, but they have started to pile up.
And the feeling of the late game is not just because of the kills that went down, it's because this Vayne is already a monster, and it's like mid game. It's not even close to late game. And Seconde, of course, being the
Oh my
big
gosh.
thing. And Yinfu, once again, he's not even camping the middle lane to get Diangun win the game, but he's still being effective by getting Zhenlong fed. And Yinfu, he's just the real MVP. He's the one that stands behind it all.
Yeah, while Zhenlong is doing a lot of the damage and is the real reason that LGD have been able to come back in these games, I really hope if Young Glory go on to win this, Yinfu needs this MVP. His Skarner, I think it was like 5-0 for the longest time, but standing on a pink ward, Schwen jumps in onto a minion. Not quite sure that's the way they want to start the fight, but we'll see if Diangun can get there in time. He's coming in a little bit late to the fight from behind. He's going to bounce way back to the back, but Explosive Cast will keep Wayless safe. But look at Zhenlong. He's just going off way in the back lines. Nobody can touch the Vayne, but now the front line just evaporating in front of him. Diangun's gonna die in a 4-for-1. Zhenlong stays alive, but it's just not enough.
Unfortunately, well, Young Glory just collapsed right there. It was not the favorable fight for them because always they gotta pick from the Seconde. Seconde caught someone off guard and they won the fight, but right now in a 5v5 they have no chances at all. And Zhenlong, I said, oh, Zhenlong at the very beginning because he got stunned, so he had a very bad positioning, but then he started dealing the damage and blowing enemies up, so... Wow, being able to turn it around is a kind of a big deal, but... Still, they lose the inhibitor. They will most probably lose the Baron, but we'll get to see that in just a second.
Now, LGD, they were able to take out an inhibitor, but the game isn't over just yet. They weren't able to go straight back to the Baron, so Nothing too crazy. And now Young Glory actually might have a chance here. Would not be a very good chance, but nevertheless, it would be enough to pick a fight. Diangun once again a little bit slower to the party. See if he gets here in time for Young Glory. And whether or not Young Glory want to peel off this Baron or try to take it down.
Right, so actually, like 5 minutes ago, Young Glory was further behind in gold than now. Oh,
Jumping
wow,
into the back of the pit. It's a little bit too early from Chuan. He actually will go down here, but 17 is just such a huge tank line for Wayless to come in from behind. The carry lineup is just not good enough. The DPS down on to Chenlong and running away from both the LGD carries. He will not be able to stay alive. Gets taken down. Baron Nashor deciding the start and the end of almost every game. And this game will not be any exception. PYL trying to go in there in the 1v1. Might actually have the advantage here versus Diangun. Last auto attack. No, he's going to distortion away. Doesn't have a minute distortion. Can he survive? PYL slams him into the wall. Takes him down just in time. PYL is having a good time. The Nexus goes down and LGD will end Young Glory's hopes at staying in LPL.
Oh, wow, this game was so good. Young Glory still being able to come back so much with Justice Vayne and Seconde, even though Jax failed completely in the top lane. But still, wow, that was such a good one. But yeah, talking about this fight, the last fight that happened in the game, Baron did not go down throughout the entire fight, so it dealt so much damage to Young Glory. They just lost like half of their health bars to just this Baron. And then Chenlong, when he was running away, he just ran into the charm from Ahri. So, well, he died in the end just because of that.
And that is going to do it for our first series of the night. It is a best of 2-0 victory for LGD. And while it doesn't knock Young Glory out of LPL, it does knock them into relegations, I believe, with this 0-2 victory.
And it also drops World Elite Academy to the relegations because they have no chance of coming back right now. But there's World Elite Academy versus OMG coming. So as you saw right now, Young Glory, I think that they actually didn't believe that they could win this one. That's why they went for such picks. But it still was an extremely close game. So maybe the same thing is coming in the next best of 2 series. That definitely is a thing to look forward to.
Now, the next Best of 2 series will be coming in quite a while. It'll be about an hour and 20-minute break. So, hour and 20 minutes until our second Best of 2 of the evening. So, it will take a little bit, but hang tight. Maybe watch something else, but come back in just over an hour for World Elite Academy versus OMG for our final Best of 2 series. So, stay tuned, stick around. We'll be back in an hour for our second Best of 2. This is the LPL in English, broadcast on Twitch TV. Roots and try to keep their mid lane strong. Game number 1 felt like Diangun really had to do most of the work for himself, while Yinfu is really focusing on getting bottom lane ahead, but that didn't really work out.
Yeah, I think that Chenlong has to switch his picks by a little bit at least, because this Corki doesn't really work too well for him. And as I said, he plays Kog'Maw a lot lately. He's just been playing Kog'Maw alone. And then there's this strong Lucian, so maybe he will go for Lucian or Kog'Maw. These are the go-to picks, because before Kog'Maw, actually, he just played Lucian. So these two champions are for the taking, but I don't really believe in his Corki. The other thing, of course, as you said, Diangun, he needs to get a lot of help from Yinfu to try and carry the game from the middle lane, especially as your top laner falls so far behind. It's unacceptable to not really...
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the LPL here on Twitch TV, live and in English, of course, brought to you by our friends at Esports Heaven and Games in Asia. My name is Rapid, and with me is Nero. Some stats coming your way on the screen. Young Glory versus LGD. Of course, LGD with a little bit of a rough start to the game, but man, did they ever finish it up. And of course, the MVP for LGD is Wayless, a monstrous 377 CS there, 503 gold per minute. That guy was making bank.
Alright, so after LGD grabbing a win, they can now stay in the contention of the playoffs. But right now it's Young Glory's turn. They need to win one game at least to keep themselves in the LPL to try and not get relegated. So this is still gonna be a very, very, very interesting matchup, even after the help Yangon.
So coming in here to game number 2, like you said, Yangon has been the key to so many Young Glory victories. And honestly, there haven't been that many of those Young Glory victories. But when they have come pretty spectacularly and versus some of the best teams in LPL. I feel like last week for Young Glory, if they could have just captured that week and held on to it like really, really closely and like made that their entire LPL performance, then sure, they win, they're the best. Unfortunately, that was a flash of light in an otherwise dark performance this season. We'll have to see if they can turn the lights back on next game, as LGD still looking like they have it. And LGD, like, you actually saw them lose a dragon fight to Young Glory horribly. Like, they got destroyed in the dragon fight when they tried to group up 5v5. And then there's like...
LGD's 1-0 win right now. There still are the 3 casters' predictions for a 1-1 tie, so we'll get to see if they're right or wrong.
Well, there's also another big consequence of LGD winning that game, and that is that World Elite Academy can no longer avoid relegation. They are out, and they will be kind of resigning themselves to practicing, maybe not practicing, because I know they've been maybe having some struggles, not necessarily putting in a whole lot of work lately, and it kind of shows. So VA are out, and that means that their series coming up tonight may be a little bit less exciting now that they are having some struggles. So game number 2 is coming up, and while the casters predicted a 1-1 unanimously, they put a lot of belief in Young Glory. I may feel a little bit more skeptical. But maybe all Young Glory needs to do is return to their... Alright, let's go back to passive farming. If we can't fight them, if we can't beat them, we'll just hang back. We'll farm things up, we'll get 377 CS in 25 minutes. It was like in 30 minutes, I guess. But it was still ridiculous scaling from LGD. Game 3 coming up, or game number 2 coming up. I'm not sure we can expect anything different.
I don't know, we'll see if PYL gets his Thresh banned once again. If there's gonna be the Yasuo ban, because is LGD still afraid of Yangon now that they crushed him so much with that Orianna? I don't know, maybe he'll get this Yasuo, and maybe that will be a mistake. We'll get to see in the picks and bans stage. But actually coming back to World Elite Academy, that got knocked out from the LPL right now. They will get knocked down to the relegations, as you said. Well, they are facing OMG in the second best of 2 for today.